I asked you for your spiciest cycling takes, and y'all delivered. Today we're gonna dive into that. This is my second channel. I'm a little more casual here. Not as edited. That sounded really lame. A little more casual here. Point is, I'm doing an endurance ride today, and I figured while I'm putting some time into legs, I might as well react to your hot takes. So first up, from YouTube, we got Zegmalker010. Spending money on a hobby you enjoy is actually fine. Is that a hot take? That one got voted up to the top. Hard agree for me. I guess I'll take it one step further since we're doing hot takes. I think cycling has an elitism problem, and it's not just the aero nerds. I think it's on the other end of the spectrum too. I think there's some people like Bike Farmer whose content I really, really enjoy, but he's always trash talking aero nerds. We know the aero nerds are always trash talking the other side. Why are we all fighting? We're all spending money on a hobby we enjoy. We shouldn't be, saying my version of fun is better than your version of fun. I think that's lame. So, hard agree. From Felix J3841. Buying new bikes makes zero sense unless money doesn't matter to you. You can get a 2-year-old top-end bike that costs $10,000 plus for $2,000 to $3,000. The decrease in value is insane. Ooh. All right. I understand the premise. I understand the argument. I disagree. Look, if you're flipping bikes and you're worried about that decrease in value, that's one thing. I don't think most people are riding bikes because they're looking to flip them or they're worried about the value. They're buying bikes for another reason. Whether that reason, like we just discussed, is they like fixing up old bikes or they like a fancy new bike. The other argument I'd say for new bikes that I hear from a lot of people, because let's be honest, I'm given most of the stuff that I ride. So my perspective is pretty warped at this point. I don't feel the same financial pinch I used to. In fact, part of the reason why I started making YouTube videos was so that my wife would let me continue to get new bike things. But I've heard from other people the reason they like buying new is for the warranty. There is like a sense of security there, because I'm gonna make an assumption here. I'm assuming, as you wrote that, part of that is because you, like me, like to work on your bike. And you're probably, unlike me, a good bike mechanic. Again, most people don't work on their own bikes. To buy a used bike can be a bit of a risk. And unless you are either mechanically inclined or you have a mechanic you trust, it's kind of dangerous. Whereas buying new from a bike shop where you have somebody you can go to if things go wrong, or from a larger company that has a warranty where if things go really wrong, you can get a replacement. There's a lot of value in that. So I wouldn't say buying new never makes sense unless you're super, super rich. So yeah, disagree. I think the value is there in the used market. If you're a nerd like me and you want that value and you like know how to check the bike, go for it. But I think for most people, it's kind of a slippery slope. That's why you have all these secondhand markets that offer like a pre-owned inspection actually exists. Like there is a demand for people that want that. Whether or not that's a good value, that's a whole nother discussion. Ooh, I'm going a little harder than I should have. Guess I got a little heated there. Wittor Markanowski, Photograph 8392 says, a bike fit is the best bang for your buck in all of cycling. Bro, hard to disagree. A bike fit is cool. A bike fit can make you more comfortable on the bike. But Best bang for your buck? I don't know. I think we all agree it's GP 5000s, right? No, just kidding. I mean, if you want to go faster, have more grip, if performance is the reason why you ride, then tires, far and away, best bang for your buck. If you're looking for comfort, a bike fit can do a lot. Is it the best bang for your buck? It's a couple $100 for that. You could get softer tires. You could get a saddle that actually fits you. You could find a bike that actually fits you. But I guess if you don't know where to start or where to look, or if your fit is even close, then yeah, a bike fit is best bang for your buck. I don't know. Since we're doing hot takes, I'm just going to say no. My hot takes, no. I like bike fits. I've had bike fits. I feel like they are valuable. I don't think they're the best bang for your buck. I think there's a lot of other things you can get that can make cycling more fun, or faster, or more comfortable for the same price. Mike Hodgson 183 says, what you ate for breakfast, how much you sleep, how much sleep you got, and your overall mood will always trump aero gains and shaving grams. You gotta be careful not to just get like hung up on semantics. It won't always, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with this one. For most people, just living healthy is gonna do more for you than focusing on your aero gains and shaving grams. Most people, we are not at that absolute pointy end of the spear where those marginal gains are making enough of a difference in our local group ride or our zone 2 training to really affect our riding. Getting a good night's sleep, eating well, that stuff's gonna have a larger impact on your riding and your ability to train than all those aero gains. So guys, hey, you guys good? You got everything you need? Okay, cool. Hey, you too. Yeah, I think like for most people, good sleep, eating well, that is it's gonna make your day-to-day riding better. Is it gonna be better on race day? That's a question for the Nero show. Tyler Jordan, L5Y, brands like MAP and Lacole aren't actually better than high-end stuff from non-influencer brands. You're just wasting money on a kit for the street cred. Yeah. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Where are you guys headed?
We're just coming from downtown. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, what's your name?
Schneider.
Schneider. I see you, dude. All right, what do we got? Oh yeah, okay. So, I'm sponsored by one of these high-end brands, Attacker. Quality-wise, so I think it really varies brand to brand. I've tried a couple different brands, and even within like lines within each brand will have like, this is our entry-level line, this is our mid-tier, our high tier. Like, for some brands, there really is no difference between what you're gonna pick up on like AliExpress. And some brands, maybe on their entry level or mid tier, that's the case, but their high tier does have something really nice. Like Attacker has this orb knit jersey that is unlike anything I've ever worn before. It's my favorite jersey ever. The material's like very unique. Is it worth the crazy high price tag? Again, I'm sponsored, and my idea of like value for money is completely skewed. I think it is. You'll have to make your own decision. Do I agree or disagree with the overall sentiment of the comment? Dude, it's like anything. If you want the cred, go for the cred. If what you care about most is just like value, I guess this goes back to the like, used bike versus new bike. I personally land on the new bike side. I do, like, I'm a little vain. I care about the street cred. I care about the way things look. I want the new shiny object. That's where I land. So I guess I disagree with that comment. I'm such a snob. Oh man. I'm not gonna judge you if you go the other way. I fundamentally believe, my first comment way back at the start of the video, I'm not gonna judge you for like having fun the way you have fun. This is the way I like to have fun. As Bike Farmer says, I'm a fancy boy. He probably doesn't like my fancy though. Lost Little Fun says, buying a bike from DTC company is soulless. I get the sentiment. It's 2025, everything's soulless. I don't know if buying a bike from Canyon is that different from buying from Trek. Like, maybe a while ago, before you had all these like super conglomerate local bike shops that aren't really like local bike shops anymore, you can make the argument, and there are still some. It's all like still one big company. They just have a distribution arm that's franchised. Case in point, Trek, right? Oh, look at this, here we go. Perfect example. Not Jay Hill says, I work at a bike shop, so I get 70% off MSRP on a new bike. There you go. So, bike shop employees are getting these amazing discounts. I have lots of friends that work at bike shops. I'm really glad they get those discounts. Is a company that's like offering more of a discount to the consumer because they don't have like a store. Bad. In theory, if that's what they're actually doing, I think that's a great idea. I think where the sentiment of that last comment comes from is we all know that's not all there is to it, right? But that's a bigger question on corporations in 2025 than I'm willing to have on this cycling hot takes. Maybe one day I'll give my real hot take and lose half my audience. But for now, we're gonna go to the next one. RCT 884 says, e-bikes are motor vehicles, not bicycles. Oh, my hot take is hard to agree. There are bikes that are actually e-bikes, like as in e-bikes, bicycles. There are a lot, and I see so many here in LA that are basically electric motorcycles with pedals. And those are not bicycles. I don't know what the solution is for classifying those two different forms of transportation, but they should be split up because they are not the same. And those e-bikes, not bikes. Lolly JKU Carlos says, fixed gear is more fun around a city. Hard to agree. I haven't talked too much on in my videos about this, but I lived in New York City and I rode a fixed gear while I was there for about 2 years commuting to work. I wasn't like crazy with it. I was still kind of like learning how to ride. I had single speed first with brakes, then I went to fixed gear with brakes. But I would still do, I still would like skid stop and stuff. I was a baby fixie rider, I guess. And that was so much fun. There is like a connection you have with the road on a fixed gear that you just don't get. And yeah, hard to agree. Riding fixed gear in New York City was like some of the most fun I ever had on a bike. All right, there's no way I'm gonna get to all of these. The battery on the camera is just not gonna last long enough. But let's hop over to Instagram so I get some of those. Official Tom Hanks says, slammed stems are corny. Bring up the stack, get more comfy and more aero. I agree with that one. I think that's not such a spicy take anymore. It was like a year ago, but I feel like that's now kind of like the in thing to do in the performance cycling world. Like the Nero shows talked about it like a million times. Raise stack so you can get more aero instead of slamming your stem. That's what's in right now. Big stacks, so hot right now. I'm squinting like crazy. All right, back on a climb so I can pedal without like squinting my eyes. This is Inverness. It's one of my favorite climbs on this side of LA. Not relevant to this video, but it is where we are. AMMIB50 says, too many electronics now. I'm a nerd, so I'm gonna disagree, man. I like all the electronics. It's not that hard. Here's my hot take. It's not that hard to charge battery. Plug it in. You charge your phone, you make sure your phone is charged every day. You can plug in your bike computer. You can plug in your drivetrain. You can plug in your power meter pedals. You can plug in your light. Everything's electronic now. Just plug it in and you don't have to worry about it. It shifts better. It's more consistent. It's not gonna like stretch like a traditional wire does. I assume you're talking about drivetrains. A bike computer, like what's your other option? Having a like dyno setup, which is a form of electricity anyway. So I assume again, battery powered electronics. Charge it, man. It's not that hard. I saw that like video go viral. That guy, he's like, oh, fuck Di2, man. Like, oh, they got like, you know, 200 miles out of it. Like, and all the comments are like, something's wrong with your Di2 system if you only got 200 miles. Like, yeah, I can understand your frustration there. But again, that's not a problem of Di2. I've used Tegra 12 speed, the latest version, which I think is about to be replaced. I've done the previous version of SRAM Red, and I'm on the current iteration of a Force E1. Just charge your batteries. Carrying a patch kit in a pocket is a waste of space. I feel like I'm not qualified to respond to this one because I've been on Tubeless my entire road cycling career. When I was in New York riding, I had tubes. I didn't carry a patch kit because it was New York, and if I ever got like that bad of a flat, I could either walk home or take the subway. Now with Tubeless, I have like dyno plugs. I've had some bad blowouts. I've never had to like completely abandon a ride because of a tubeless failure. I've always been able to plug it. I don't think that's a waste of space. I don't know, I can't comment. Next question. Tubeless sucks. Hard disagree. Cam Nichols, I'm looking at you, man. I don't know, you've had like the worst experience with tubeless. I think it varies depending on where you ride, the tires you have, and the sealant you use. I was on the Vittoria Corsa Pros for a while. And yeah, like after 500 miles, flat sitting. But that would have happened with the tubed version too. The difference is 8 out of those like 10 flats, like the punctures got sealed and I just didn't notice it. But then when I noticed like those last 2, then yeah, you get really frustrated. And it sucks to have like tubeless sealant all over your bike. It is a pain to clean out. But after that, to clean out, but I still think it's better than like tubed, stuck on the side of the road, trying to switch your tire over, worrying about pinch flats. And then I just don't run those Vittoria tires anymore. Because I learned in LA where I ride, those tires are unsustainable. So I've ridden the GP 5000s, the Schwalbe, I forgot what they're called, Pro 1 or something like that. Those both worked better. Right now I'm on these like Goodyear, like package tires that fit with the zip. So far so good. I had a goat head, which is basically, oh, I went in to the big ring on accident there. 1 second. Oh, that was crunchy. That was my bad. My very first ride on this, I did 2 things. I dropped Matthew Vanderpool, and then I got a puncture. But it was a goat head. And they're all over here in LA. It's like this little it's a piece of a plant. I don't even know what the plant is, but it will puncture your tire every single time. And it's sealed up. And the nice thing was, so I'm on these like fancy zip wheels that have the tire pressure sensor in them. And so I got a little notification on my head unit that my tire pressure was dropping. And then I looked at it and it stabilized. And so without being worried about my little tire freaking out, like testing it, I could see the data right in front of me. It dropped pressure, it stabilized. It wasn't so low, like it went from like 60 PSI down to like 46 or something like that. So I still felt good enough riding on it. Finished the ride, look at that little go ahead, pulled it out, spun the tire a couple times, sealed. Easy. So again, I think electronics on bike are kind of nice, and I like tubeless. Oh, got a little passionate there and took a wrong turn. Ended up in somebody's driveway. I guess I really care about tubeless. Marcus says weight is better than aero, greater than aero. Oh, I don't know, Marcus. I used to think like that. Like a lightweight bike like this like feels amazing. Standing up, like that's insane, man. I think the answer is what the bike industry is doing now, is that both are better than one or the other. You see all these new aero bikes coming out that are almost as light as like the lightweight road bike. And so like there's a reason why Tade and Jonas ride their team's aero bike throughout the entire Tour de France. So I don't think you can say weight is better than aero when you see that. And the argument there, everybody's like, we're not going as fast as Tour de France pros. But the threshold for when wind becomes the largest part of your aerodynamic drag, or the largest part of your drag rather, wind is always, that's a funny statement. You know, when the aerodynamic drag is the most aerodynamic drag you have, the threshold at which the drag created by wind resistance rather than rolling resistance, and drivetrain resistance and all that. The point at which that hits is the threshold so much lower than people want to say. It's like around 9 miles an hour. That's nothing. Like I'm crawling right now and I'm doing like 7. So watch, right now, no wind resistance. If I wanted to go, boom, there we go. Aerodynamics matter now. Like, I wasn't going fast. And then if you add in the fact, like right now, my windsock says I've got a 2.2 mile an hour wind hitting me. So technically at 7 miles an hour, I'm already encountering that. I think weight matters, but not as much as aero. And I think weight has been such a big part of road cycling culture because it's so easy to quantify. You can put your bike on a scale and you know how light it is. But quantifying aerodynamics requires a lot more tools and so many variables. Like 2 different riders on the same bike will have 2 different positions. Even if you're trying to match their position, their body shape will just change. Some people have narrower shoulders, some people have wider shoulders. That alone will affect their aerodynamics. Some people have wider arms or legs. So like aerodynamics is such a rabbit hole with so many variables that even if a bike tests faster or slower then another bike, the way that a rider's body and position interacts with that bike is going to change it. Point is, it's easier for not only bike brands, but for the weight weenies forum to say, this bike is lighter, therefore it is better. And that's why lightweight bikes are still a thing in 2025. Cancel me. Don't actually cancel me, please. This is how I make my living. All bikes are the same. I disagree, but I kind of agree. Yeah, like I was riding a steel frame before this, and I feel the difference between the two bikes. I totally feel the difference. This is a lot faster off the line, a lot zippier. Going up climbs, I am faster. It's more aerodynamic, it's lighter. So yeah, performance-wise, there's a difference. Did I have fun on that last bike? Yes. Do I have fun on this bike? Yes. In that way, all bikes are the same. In every other way, no, you can't say a fat bike is the same as like a TT bike, or a downhill mountain bike is the same as a cross-country bike. They're not all the same. Like last year I was learning how to mountain bike, and to ride to here from my house on my road bike takes me about 35 minutes. On the cross-country mountain bike with like, I forgot how big the tires were, like two point something inches, and took me like 50 minutes. It's got a wide bar, more rolling resistance on the tires, just takes me longer. But if I tried to take this bike down a single track, that would not be fun. Like first off, just technically difficult. Second off, I'd be stressed about braking it the whole time. Taking the cross-country bike down it, so much fun, man. So much fun. All bikes are not the same. Sorry. I know there's this like subset of like internet comments where people are like, you just need to train harder and you will be faster. But the thing I feel like people who make that comment don't take into account, like they're usually talking about like, train hard and then you'll be able to drop your fritz. It's like, your friends are also training hard and they're on a really fast bike. It doesn't matter how hard you train, like if you're with other people that are also training hard, that's the common denominator here. So yeah, your bike choice in that scenario does matter. Fun factor, no. In fact, some of those like faster bikes can be less fun to ride than just a bike you're cruising around. I got a technical descent, so we're gonna pause for a second because I'm going slow on descents right now. I've had like some bad luck with crashes the last month, and I'm not like looking to make it a hat trick. Back at the bottom of Chevy Chase, we're just gonna do this climb again because it's an easy one to do while talking to the camera. It's pretty like steady incline. Again, not relevant to the video, but it's what we're doing. Benjamin Cycle says, you do not need to spend thousands on a bike. Hard agree. Unfortunately, bikes are very expensive, but you don't have to spend thousands on a bike. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. If you just want to ride and cruise, you can get a great bike for a lot less. If you want to compete, I don't know, it's getting harder and harder not to spend thousands on a bike. My first like drop bar bike was the Giant Revolt. I bought that in 2020. It was the aluminum model, and I bought it for $1,000, and then promptly spent like $400 on accessories. That's something to watch out for. Dude, bikes are expensive. You don't have to spend thousands on a bike, but you will. That's my hot take. Brands have replaced the actual community in the scene, leading to commodity fetishism. That's from Alexander K. Wong. I'd expect nothing less of you, bud. Yeah, as somebody who's sponsored by a bunch of brands, I have to be careful what I say here. This is my whole life, man. I'm part of that problem. I'm sponsored by a bunch of brands, and I could not make these videos without them. And that's not a like cop out, it's just a fact. I don't make enough on YouTube ad revenue, and I'm the kind of person who has to go all in on a thing. I'm not good at like holding a full-time job and doing a side project. It's like one or the other. And so if it wasn't for these brands, I just wouldn't be making YouTube videos. I've tried it before, it doesn't work for me. So there's that side of it. Like these brands sponsoring group rides and things are providing opportunities that would not exist without them. The other side is, if every group ride is sponsored by a brand, where is the soul? This is literally what keeps me up all night. I don't know. I agree with you, man. And that's why I try to be really careful with the brands that I choose to work with. I haven't been perfect with it. But I try to make sure that the brand and I are aligned in our goals and our visions. And for me, that's where I've landed. For some people, they'll be like, nah, no brands ever. And for other people, they're like walking billboards. Choose your poison. Cycle Goon says, rim brakes aren't dead, and gravel bikes are just 1990s mountain bikes that can fit 700C. All right, hard agree with the second one. Disagree with the first one. Yeah, dude. I have my like resto mod that I did with my parents' like specialized hard rock. It's basically a gravel bike. Dude, rim brakes are dead, I'm sorry. They're on life support right now. If no brands are making bikes with rim brakes, that's it. And I know that's hard for a lot of rim brake aficionados to accept. But we all lose things we love, and it's time to grow up. Just kidding. Sorry, dude. I get that it sucks. It sucks when like a thing that you love is deprecated and no longer exists anymore. But I think we're about the same age. You went through losing MySpace. You've done this before. And look how much better the world is now. Corey Jensen, you have a couple, bud. Influencers who use sex appeal in their cycling posts are just as annoying. I'm sorry. My apologies. You also said there's no need for saddlebags. Everything that fits in it can go in a pocket. Hard agree, man. Down with the saddlebag. Check this out. Everything I need is in here. I got a pump. I got a Dynaplug kit. I got my wallet. I got nose strips. Everything's in here. Fits in my pocket. And I don't need a saddlebag wiggling off the back of my bike. Hard agree. Plus a lot of frames now have the like down tube storage, which I think is I think that's a great idea. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. That's awesome. Way better place to put your stuff. All right, we'll do like 2 more and then hopefully the battery doesn't die before that. MRB_V, we should celebrate cycling for being such a cheap hobby. Is it? It can be. I don't know how cheap it is. I'm in my bubble, right? And so I'm looking at everything on my bike. I don't know how cheap it is, but I guess nothing is cheap now, right? Like golf is not a cheap hobby. I guess if you're like racing cars, that's not a cheap hobby. If you want to paint's expensive. I don't know how many of y'all paint, but paint has gotten really expensive, and there are no cheap hobbies. So maybe cycling isn't so bad. it can be a relatively cheap hobby. I think if that's what makes you celebrate cycling, go for it. I think it's a fairly expensive hobby that makes me happier and healthier, and so I'm willing to spend that expense. And that's what I celebrate. All right, Ricky Barron won. Enrique says, t-shirt rides for roadies are stupid. Are you really that chill on a 10K bike? Who are you calling out, Ricky? Who are you calling out? Do I agree or disagree with, oh, I'm torn on this one. See, this hits me in my heart. As somebody who pretends not to try hard, but actually tries hard, the t-shirt ride, so appealing, because you have an out, right? If you get dropped, oh, it's just a t-shirt ride for me. If you do the dropping, you are so strong. So I don't know, hard disagree, man. T-shirt rides, oh, good for my ego. All right, final one. If you've enjoyed this, let me know. I've got so many more, and I'm sure a lot of you have spicy takes. So maybe we'll do some more, let me know. Last one, let me find a good one for you. Dude, I'm such an elitist here. There you go, last one by Taylor. Carbon bikes and components shouldn't be available to purchase by the public. Hard disagree. I think one of the things I think is amazing about cycling is that top tier components are generally, maybe not so much in track, but in road, available to the public. You can't go out and ride like a F1 car or drive it. But you can, for a lot of money, go out and ride Tadej Pogacar's bike, Julian Alaphilippe's bike. And I think that's cool. I'm gonna make the assumption, the sentiment here is that they shouldn't be available to purchase because it creates an unlevel playing field at the lower levels of racing. I think that is different than letting them be available to everybody. I like having a fancy carbon road bike. That's why I'm not wealthy enough to afford it on my own. My wife would kill me if I spent this much on a bike. But that's why I made the YouTube channel. And I feel really lucky to have that opportunity to ride this. A bike I don't deserve. A bike faster than me. But a bike I really, really enjoy riding. And I'm very lucky, so lucky to be able to ride it. So I'm coming from that place when I say hard disagree. I want these components to be available for me and for other people who want to ride them, because I think it's cool. We get to ride the same stuff as the pros. And is it demoralizing that you learn it's not the bike that's holding you back? Yeah. But is it also cool? You get to like use the cool toy too? Yeah. I'm never gonna drive an F1 car, but I get to ride a bike that's racing the Tour de France. That's pretty cool. And if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. Go do the thing that's your thing. Like I said at the start, I'm not gonna judge anybody for what's fun to them while they ride the bike. I hope you do the same for me. And I say that as snot goes down my nose. All right, that's it, end of the video.